Hi guys, Rachel here. How is everyone? I just wanted to do a quick September wrap up and what I've been up to lately sort of video, and at present, I suppose. So, let's see. It's finally starting to get a little cold out there. We've had some really warm weather. I was actually still using the air conditioners in a couple of the rooms in our house, and we really need to get those out soon because we have some sort of like frost alert. So always fun taking the air conditioners out. Really need to figure out something different as far as that's concerned. So let me look in my planner and see where to begin for September. Well, we had our friend Rick's retirement party at a local Italian restaurant early September. That was really nice. Hadn't seen a lot of Mark's colleagues / friends in quite some time, and it was just really, really good food. Like, they make their own pasta there. It's really expensive, so even though it's like within walking distance, we don't go as often as we used to, but really, really authentic Italian food, and really nice to see everybody, and a bunch of musicians, so always the best stories, We've been watching a lot of movies. I'm going to share a few of those later on. I bought some new bookshelves and I'm still loading those up. I don't have everything in their permanent spots yet. Like, as you can see, I have this weird cart shelf here that doesn't belong. Let's see. We went to this like open market on Newberry Street in Boston. That was fun. There were some live musicians in the streets, all sorts of different types of music. They had some dance troupes, like people dancing to K-pop songs and stuff, and there were people dressed in like anime costumes. There were some really good jazz musicians. I didn't really shop in the streets because there were a couple of interesting things, but nothing I really needed. There was a vintage clothing seller, but honestly, I thought it was overpriced. Did go into Trident Books. I got a couple of things. I don't remember if I remember to bring them in here, but I didn't really buy much. Had dinner at one of our favorite Thai places, Thai Basil. What else did we do in September? I had an appointment, gynecology appointment. I was really nervous about that. I've been bad about that, as many of you know. I've been having some health issues that I'm finally getting to the bottom of. So it feels good to be, I guess, handling things like an adult. That's not necessarily fair, because I know that there are plenty of other adults who shun like medical expertise for many reasons. I had lots of bad experiences growing up, where no one really listened to me or paid attention. But I am finally being heard by the right people. And a lot of that is thanks to my boyfriend, who knew where to send me when it came to the ER. Like, when I was admitted to the ER, I've been going back to that hospital staff for all of my appointments and everything. And I also had an MRI, and I was really nervous about that. It went okay. Like, I cried a little bit. Got a little bit claustrophobic. Wasn't too bad. It was actually a really nice place to get a scan because it's state of the art. They had this screen where I could watch footage of the beach and like trees swaying in the breeze, and they asked me if I wanted to listen to music. I said classical. The only thing was that some of it made me cry because music does that to me, so I was trying to like hold still. But the results from that came in, and I have a follow-up appointment on October 15th, so we'll see what they say in terms of surgery and all that jazz. We went to the food truck festival in Salem, like around September 20th, and that was a blast. So, it was crazy though, because as I've mentioned so many times in my videos, Salem has really changed the last few years. I think a lot of that is social media. You kind of see that really everywhere. It's not just a Salem thing. It's all across the globe. Word gets out and people flock in. So it used to be relatively easy for us to get into Salem, even in October for different events, you know. Now it's like, this was September 20th, and we knew the only way that we could get into town was by calling an Uber. And we got in okay. There was a little bit of traffic, and our plan was to stay the night at our friend's house because she lives right there downtown. But then the next day we wanted to leave. I think it was around like 3 p.m. And we had 3 different drivers cancel on us because they couldn't figure out how to get to us, because they already in September start closing some of the streets down. So unless you're really savvy, you don't know your way around or how to get to people. So finally somebody picked us up and we were able to get out. But yeah, if we do go in again this month, we're probably not even going to be able to rely on an Uber or a Lyft, because I'm assuming the prices are going to skyrocket. So we'll probably have to take the train. And that just means that instead of it taking us like 20-30 minutes to get in, it'll probably take us an hour. But if we do decide to do that, it'll be train and we'll stay at our friend's house again. But anyway, Food Truck Festival was so awesome. The weather was perfect. They set up in the Common. I had the Venezuelan food. I'm familiar with them because I've had their food at the Fusion Festival at the House of the Seven Gables the past couple of years. It's so delicious. I also had a little, what they call a baby lobster roll. And I mean, lobster rolls are so expensive, but it was delicious. And they had some really cool vendors, like not just food trucks, but I will be sharing the things that we got later on when I flip the camera around. It was just a really beautiful day. Essex Street was pretty nuts, but my boyfriend and I were able to hit some of our haunts. Because there were things we needed. We needed coffee, we needed tea, we needed some soap. I wanted to get a couple things for friends, and we were able to get in and out, but it was like really busy. So later that night, we went to a comedy festival at the Satanic Temple, and it was a blast. So our friend Emily, she's so cute. She made like tea sandwiches for the event for people to snack on. It was kind of like a bring your own beer kind of thing. And it was just, I don't know, it was fun. I'd actually never really been before. I always wanted to go because I heard that their art gallery is really impressive. They had Dali, they had Dore, they have the giant Baphomet statue. I'm going to be inserting some photos, I'm sure. And I got this hoodie that I'm wearing, and it's so cozy. It's like really good sweatshirt material. I love it. Yeah. So that was fun. And it was kind of like an indoor-outdoor event. There were stand-up comedians outside in the parking lot, and there were comedians inside, and it was also like the premiere of this film that a bunch of them made. And a group of our friends, they were in the film, and that was fun to watch. So they had like a little competition in the throne room. That was super cute, super funny. I shouldn't say cute, it was hilarious. So yeah, it was great. Like I had told Mark, I'm like, we're going to the Satanic Temple tonight, like, and he didn't even you know, bat an eye. He was like, oh, okay, you know. So like he's been normalized. He didn't even question it, but no, it was so much fun, and I would definitely go again to the next event. So afterwards, we went over to a friend's little beach condo, caught up with some people, and then we went back to our friend's house, stayed the night. And the next day, woke up, like Mark brought me coffee from Odd Meter, one of our favorite places. Such a nice morning with some croissants and a little Thoth reading. And then we went back to the food truck festival, and Emily got like some fried oysters, and I got these lobster tacos that were really good. Mark got some pierogies, and I bought some more jewelry, which I will be sharing with you when I flip the camera around. Just another really beautiful, perfect day, and since then, haven't really been out too much. My daughter has had a lot of band commitments. So now that school is in session, we really only have the freedom to go out on weekends. But now that she's in honors band, she has to make it to football games, and there's been some other ceremonies like opening of the new high school ceremony she had to be at on a Saturday. There was the 300th anniversary of our town celebration. She had to be there for that. So we've been home, but we've also been sick with some weird flu. So haven't really been out and doing much since actually the weekend of the Food Truck Festival and the Satanic Temple Comedy Festival. Just watching movies and catching up on a lot of reading, because as you know, I was really, really sick, and I fell behind on a lot of the things I was reading. But I was really grateful for the beautiful weekend that we had, and a lot of those memories have stuck with me, and I don't really feel too homebound. But I am kind of reaching that point where I would like to get out and do something. I want to get to the MFA. There's an exhibit there that I want to see, and I want to get over to the Isabella Stewart Gardner. And like I said, we might pop back in to Salem to see our friend. It's just going to require like premeditated travel planning. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. So, yeah, that's, I think, what I've got. I am sort of feeling inspired to get back into some art. I bought some supplies, and we'll see. I had bought some supplies back in, I think, July, and I really thought that I was going to get cracking with it, but I didn't realize that I was only going to get worse. Like, I was so sick. I was just like on the floor every day for hours and hours, so it was bad. But I think that we've gotten past that. The medication they gave me is helping, and we're going to find more of a permanent solution to that. So yeah, I'm hoping to maybe express myself here soon with some pastels and stuff that I bought, and really enjoying the reading that I've been doing lately. So that's all that I can really think of. But I've been really proud of my daughter for all of the commitments that she's been making regarding band, because some of these things, like, she doesn't really like football. She doesn't like parades, but she has to march in the parades and perform at the football games, and she doesn't even complain about it. She's like, I have to do that. I have to be there for the band. And I think we're going to be buying her a saxophone. She plays clarinet, and she taught herself flute. She also takes piano lessons, but now she keeps asking Mark if he has student saxophone for her. So she says she wants to be a doubler like Mark. Mark's a doubler, you know. He plays saxophone, clarinet, piccolo, flute, all that stuff, all that jazz. So that's excellent, and we're thrilled. So I think we're going to be having to buy a saxophone soon for her. But that's what I've got for now. And I'm going to flip the camera around, show you some things that I got, and maybe a couple of decks that I didn't show in my 11 current favorites. Just a couple though, because I've only added like a couple to the list. And I don't know, talk about some books, Candy Reading Challenge 2025, and yeah, okay. Okay, so hopefully this lighting is good and everything. Let's gather our stuff. So, what do I have to show you? So, by the way, I wanted to mention, like, Hobonichi users, like, so frustrated by the tariffs and everything. I did order a new 2026 weeks. I actually ordered 2 of them, and I know that's crazy, but I wasn't sure I could get some of the other stuff that I usually order from them. So we'll see. But I've always loved using the weeks and some of their other products. This is the current pen case that I enjoy using, and this was something that I got like really, really cheap. I will do another like pen planner video at some point, but this is a little pouch that I've been liking. So my inks and my Kakunos keep drying up like really fast, and that's annoying. Like the TWSBIs never seem to dry up. The Sailors are pretty good too. These guys, these are like Pilot Metropolitans or something. They kind of dry up, but I really like them. And then these are like, what are these? Sarasa Dry. I like to use these with Hobonichi and some of the other papers like the Midori and stuff, because the ink dries a little on the faster side. And like my Sharpie gels, these I love. So, and then yeah, the Quicos are good. Quicos are good. But anyway, that's just like a little pen tease. A little pen tease, why not? And what do I have? Oh, why not? I'll show you like a little what's currently in my bag. This is not my purse. This is like a pouch that I put in my purse. And I also bring it out when I'm at home, and it sits on my bed with me. This is my Gengar keychain that I got with my daughter at a Pokemon convention. So what do I have in here? Oh, maxi pad, big surprise. I have painkillers in here, just like Tylenol, ibuprofen, because of course. Tissues in here. This is like a little dolly print pouch that I got at the museum that I think is adorable. This lotion I'm obsessed with. It's called Velvet Underground from Red Antler Apothecary. It's a company based in Lowell, Massachusetts, and I buy their products at Hive and Forge in Salem, but you can also order online. And it just smells really like citrusy and piney and really good. It's a lotion, but it's like thick, like a salve. I'm obsessed with it. I have some perfume in here in this like travel Penhaligon's bottle. I put Cairo in here. Cairo by Penhaligon's is like my staple sort of scent, and it's a unisex scent. I've talked about it before. This is some facial sunscreen by Vacation. I love it because it's like, it goes on like deodorant. I just felt like doing this. I have no idea why. I have a receipt. Oh, it's for my mini lobster roll. How cute. This is also from Red Antler Apothecary. It's chapstick, but it's also, you can use it for your cuticles. Love that stuff. This is actually from Hobonichi. It's like a little mini, what do they call it? But it's a pouch. And inside I have some clippers, some Band-Aids, because you never know. I have some lip gloss. This is by Tarte. And this is some perfume that I made It's like, and it has like some herbs in it and stuff. And it smells really good. It's like, I sort of made it for Hecate, and I really like it. It's really, really strong, but I really like it. I like to put that on in bed. These are some stickers that I got from the latest comedy event. Isn't that cute? Witch City Comedy. And I have a dinosaur in here, of course, at all times. I got him at the arcade at the Willows. And I have some Pokemon cards that are in these like little protective sleeves. So like Umbreon Larvitar is like my favorite. He's like, looks all pissed off inside of a volcano. That's me. Another Umbreon and Gengar, of course. I don't know. I like having these things by my side. And some of this stuff is useful and some of it is just for comfort. Felt like sharing. So, all right, what did I get at the food truck festival? All right. Well, first off, when we were there in town, I got some more wax melts from Deal and Marcus. It's the tea shop that we frequent. I got Death on the Nile. This is one of my favorite scents. The candles are really, really good too, but I buy the wax melts. And I got Madame Violet, which I've never tried before, but I have smelled it in the store and excited to try it at home. They all smell exquisite. I got, oh, this is a zine, but this isn't from Salem. This is from, that same weekend of the food truck festival. My boyfriend had a gig at the Lily Pad, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of his friends met us for dinner at the Druid beforehand. It's this Irish bar. So many laughs, wonderful stories, and we all went to his gig afterwards, and they were handing out these zines. I got this at Hive and Forge. It's a vintage copy of Nova Express by William S. Burroughs, and yeah, I just thought it was a really cool cover. You know how I am about book covers, and couldn't resist. Really nice price too. I picked up a new incense to try at Omen, but now they go by Hex. And this is called Scorpio. So, smells pretty good through the bag. We'll see if I like it. And I picked up the Black Moon astrology cards there as well. But I'm not going to open this up because I just showed this in my 11 current favorites. So, at the food truck festival, my daughter got some like 3D printed toys and stuff. Like she got this cool dragon, or her friend that met up with us there, he bought this for her. Really cool. It's like a dragon. Love the color. She has a few of these. And then she got some earrings from the same seller. Really fun. Look at these. These are like these purple dragons. These are going to be fun to wear. What's this? Oh, that's like a VIP bracelet from the comedy event. These are mine. These are like these neon green skeletons, 3D printed. Aren't they cute? And she also got another pair of these dragon earrings. These ones are like these really pretty, like, slate blue. Fun, right? Okay. I'm going to put these back in the bag. And what else do we have? I think we're almost done with goodies. We got some jewelry. They had these wonderful jewelry booths. This one seller, they had a lot of vintage stuff. I got these really cool silver dagger earrings with skulls on the hilts. Can you see that? So cool. And I got these little mini scarabs. Can you see them? Also silver. You guys have probably seen my giant gold ones. Sometimes I need little guys. So, oh, I still have to find those. I also got this ring. I've been wearing it in some of my videos, but it's onyx. Isn't that pretty? I looked at several rings, and no question, this was the one, and it fits. My fingers are actually really small, so. My daughter got this pendant here. This is really pretty. It's still in the bag. She hasn't worn it yet. I think she forgot about some of this stuff. I left my stuff in the bag so that I would remember to show it in my video. But I got this pendant. Also vintage. Really pretty. I need to polish it a bit, but isn't that gorgeous? Can you see it? I love it. Just the sort of thing that I like to find at these festivals. Sometimes you go to these events and, you know, the booths are just sort of like, okay, just kind of stuff you can find anywhere. Everything there was just amazing. There were so many, I didn't even get to check everything out. And I went, like I said, both days of the festival. So we just ran out of time. All right. Movies. What have we watched? We've watched so many movies. I can't talk about them all. I'll just share some of the things that we watched that I own on DVD, as that also helps me remember what we watched. We watched this version of Anna Karenina with Vivien Leigh and Ralph Richardson. This is an Alexander Korda production. My daughter, as I've mentioned before, she says she really loves Vivien Leigh. And I also love Ralph Richardson. He's one of my favorites. Astounding actor. This is quite a good version of the film. I don't think that this one is as well known. There's also the Greta Garbo one that came out kind of around the same time. That one's also very good. But yeah, if you're a fan of the book, yeah, it's good. We watched Jezebel. Yes, of course, Jezebel, Bette Davis, Henry Fonda, George Brent. This is an iconic Bette Davis film. One of her most famous performances. And it's really worth watching. I hadn't seen it in many years. And it takes place in the South. Very spoiled, rich Southern belle. And it's not necessarily compared to Gone with the Wind, but people talk about it as like she could have been a contender for the role of Scarlett O'Hara. Honestly, there are certain things in this that are in a way more offensive to me than even Gone with the Wind. I won't get into it now, but it's no reason not to see the movie. You know, just go into it, you know, with an educated sort of mindset. That might not have necessarily been reality, but it's an outstanding film. Eleonora has really been loving Barbara Stanwyck. We've been watching a lot of her films. So we watched some of the movies in here, like Ladies They Talk About, some pre-code films. Lots of fun. James Cagney has also been one of her passions lately. So this is one of the ones we watched with Olivia de Havilland, Strawberry Blonde. Also, Rita Hayworth is in it. Really, really cute romantic comedy. We've watched some of the movies in this Criterion set I have, the Dietrich and von Sternberg in Hollywood. Really atmospheric, really vibey, really fun. Like, I love the way that Sternberg directed. And I love Marlene Dietrich. Hobson's Choice. This is an amazing movie. I love David Lean, and I love Charles Laughton. This movie is really special. So if you haven't heard of it, look it up. If you're a film buff, please watch it. I don't really want to say anything about it. I don't want to give you any spoilers. I'm not really talking much about any of these movies. I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit, but if you know it, you know. A masterpiece, and it's also really funny. Sweet Charity. This isn't the only musical that we watched. This is a favorite. I have mixed feelings about the ending. There are two different endings. There's an alternate ending. But we won't get into that. Love this. Love Shirley MacLaine. I love the Sammy Davis Jr. number in here. The Rhythm of Life. Oh, okay. Just everything about this. Bob Fosse. Oh, the cinematography, the choreography. This is so good. And so very, very 1969, I think, when this came out. Yeah, love this. This is one that I watched on my own. Reflections in a Golden Eye. This is Elizabeth Taylor and Marlon Brando. I had heard that Montgomery Clift actually was set to star in Marlon Brando's role, but he died. I could see him in that role as well. Marlon Brando did an outstanding job. They're both so good. Julie Harris is also in this. She's always amazing. This is a really screwed up story. It's so good. The acting is so good. There's something about this movie that is almost cozy to me. I just think it's the way that it's shot, the colors. Even though like 80% of the film, there's all this high tension going on. There's something about the coziness of the rooms, what the people are wearing, the fireplaces, the drinks that they're having, you know, the small talk. There's just something about it to me. I'm a weirdo. Like, one of my comfort films is Apocalypse Now. But no, anyway, to be fair to myself, that became a comfort film during some really harrowing times. Anyway, this is based on a Cormac McCarthy. It's not Cormac McCarthy. I did it again. Carson McCullers. Same initials. Cormac McCarthy, Carson McCullers. It's based on a Carson McCullers novel. And yeah, it takes place on some army base, like a fort, and Marlon Brando's character and Elizabeth Taylor are married, and she's obviously very sexually frustrated. And there's horses, and no, not like that, but there's interesting things like young men riding around nude on horses, and it's an interesting movie. It's a really good one though. I don't know why I decided to talk about this and not the other movies, but I might edit some of that out. But if you know it, you know. And it's definitely one to see. It pushed boundaries for its time. Now I will get into, as quickly as I can, some of the books. So the Candy Reading Challenge 2025. So the last time that I did a video, I was talking about how I was trying to finish this book, Erotic Vagrancy, and I did finish it. I finished it in either late August or early September though. And my stance on it remains the same. I'm not going to reiterate. If you're curious, you can watch my previous video and the one before. But what's interesting is that the author, after all he said about Elizabeth Taylor, he claims to actually love her. And I'm like, how? In what way? Like, under your sort of perception of her, which I take to mean like you love to hate her sort of thing, or this highly caricatured version of Elizabeth Taylor. Regardless of that, I think that I am going to read his book on Laurence Olivier, and I think that I might read the Peter Sellers one. A lot of the stuff in here might have been a little bit more forgivable if this had been written like back in the 1950s or something, where a lot of these stereotypes about women were maybe more generally accepted or the norm. A lot of times, you know, stereotypes, it doesn't necessarily come from an evil place. It just comes from conditioning. And yes, there are always people who can rise above that and see beyond it. but conditioning can go really, really far. It can go a long ways. So, but I was surprised for something that came out like in 2023. It just seems so misogynistic. But I'm going to keep this book because I really like the cover. And I finished Claudius the God. Now, this was not part of the reading challenge. I'm including it because I was not able to start reading my September book, the book that I chose for Dark Academia. Like, maybe this could count. It's history. I mean, it's historical fiction, but it's Robert Graves. And this took me a very long time to read because, like I said, I was very, very sick. I was reading several books, and most days I was lucky if I could maybe read 1 page or 2 each night when I was feeling better. But this had some, some dry spells. It's hard to read a dense book like this when you're constantly putting it down and then not picking it up again for another few weeks. It's like, wait, who is that? Where are they? There are so many characters. Like, it was so British in a way that I really loved. Like, I swear, like, all the dialogue in here, I could hear their accents. It was kind of like a stage play in a way, but it's told from like first person narrative. So Claudius is giving you the story, and because of that, you kind of forget like some of the things he's talking about like sending like hundreds of people to execution, like it's nothing. You forget that, okay, wait, whoa, like, this is first person narrative. Finally, you reach a point in the novel where he's explaining, this is how I went from being like an ordinary good bloke to a tyrant. This is how I became a tyrant. And it's brilliant. It really is. I read I, Claudius a couple years ago and then finally picked this one up. And yeah, that was fun. I read Bartleby by Herman Melville. Haven't read Benito Cereno yet. I'm kind of waiting for maybe Gothlit November for this one. But Bartleby was pretty gothic too. I'm not going to really tell you anything about it because it's relatively short work. And if I did, I would give too much away. But it's good. So the work that I had originally chosen for September Dark Academia was The Anatomy of Melancholy by Robert Burton. I really, really wanted to read this. But given the things that I was already in the middle of, which, I mean, look at this. Erotic Vagrancy was not a short book. This is over 600 pages long, and it took me longer to read than I thought it would. This is pretty dense too. It's not always the easiest thing to read, not the hardest thing I've ever read. And early jazz, reading that, just in the middle of that. We have Michel de Montaigne. I mean, look at this tome, okay? It's in the middle of that. Not to mention Mad Woman in the Attic, another tome. So how was I going to pick this up? How was I going to pick this up? I realized, Rachel, you can't. You cannot pick up another tome. You just can't do it. So I read what I read for September. Okay. I read what I read. For October, which is October, is that how you say it? It's choose a book with an animal on the cover. Wind in the Willows. This is a very beautiful illustrated edition by E.H. Shepard. Novels by Kenneth Grahame. Having a wonderful time with this. And actually, I would probably be finished with this by now. Were it not for the fact that I decided randomly a couple of days ago to pick up Middlemarch by George Eliot. And don't ask me why. I mean, look at this. This edition is like 800 pages. I don't think it's going to be the hardest book to read. It's just very, very long. And I don't know why I decided to do it exactly. However, they talk about it in Mad Woman in the Attic. And I thought that maybe I would pick this up again for Gothlit November this year. I recently just finished reading the chapter on Emily Bronte. So I am on page 311. And then I was flipping forward because you know that I had to pause this several times. I hadn't read Shirley yet. I hadn't read Villette. So I read like both of those books and kept pausing on this because I was reading several other things. Thought, okay, I'm going to finish this. And then I remembered, oh, right, they talk about Middlemarch and I really don't want spoilers. So picked this up. And, oh man, I'm only like 100 page, I'm only on like 100 page. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? I'm only on like page 142. But, my goal was to finish reading this in October. So let's hope that I can do it. It's going to require a lot more reading time. And I also picked up this Nathaniel Hawthorne Tales. And I really love these Norton Critical editions. I was reading some of the introduction, plan on reading all the letters and notes at the end. I've read Wives of the Dead, The Gentle Boy, Roger Malvin's Burial. Anyway, I just love Nathaniel Hawthorne. I love his writing. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about Gothlit November, and I'm thinking about what I would like to read, and maybe I'll focus on some American authors, because like I said, I don't feel like that was always my focus, but I really love Herman Melville, and I really love Nathaniel Hawthorne, and I was thinking about maybe using that American Renaissance tarot. I don't know, there were some other things I was thinking about, but we'll see. We'll see. I still have some time to decide. Only going to show you a couple of decks, or maybe, okay, I have 3 sitting here. And these are the ones that I've added since the last video I made, which was 11 current favorites. I've been using the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. I love the purple edges. And it's just been like really sweet. You know? Yeah, look at her. Temperance. I love that. I love that card. The guidebook is really nice too. And how she has like a Fabergé egg here for 16, the Decadence. Anyway, really, really sweet deck. Sorry, my voice, like, I'm starting to lose my voice a bit. I love this death card. I am getting over a flu. It's a lot better than it was, but making this video, I realized this is the longest that I've talked at a single time since I got sick, so yeah, it's a little hard on me. Okay, we're gonna move on. I've been using the Trionfi della Luna a bit, this purple edition here. You guys know that I love this deck. Got the Ace of Swords the other morning. I love the pips in this deck. Queen of Cups. These are the extra cards. This is like the monster pack. I always kind of leave it at the end of the deck, like, and sometimes I forget and I shuffle it up and they end up inside there, but yeah. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Patrick Valenza collection video. Just because I think it would be fun to do. And I have quite a collection, so I might do that. I might be able to get around to it in October. Might have to wait for next month, we'll see. And then the last one is the Bohemian Gothic. This is the 3rd edition. I had the 4th edition. I recently got this. I was thinking about it, and Tammy Pie's video comparing this with the 4th is what made me decide that I would like to invest in this deck. Because I love the deck, but there's something about the, the cold stamping in the 4th edition. Whilst beautiful, the lighting that I usually have to work with makes it very, very, very hard for me to see the images in that deck, so I find myself not using it. And I thought if I got this, I might find myself using it more. And you know what? Yes, it's done the trick. There are some changes between the 2 decks. I'm not going to really talk about them or show you here. You can check out Tammy Pie's video. It's a lot of fun. But it also made me really appreciate the 4th edition. It is very beautiful. Some of the cards are like crisper and cleaned up, and you can really see their beauty. But there are also things that I really, really love about this one. Plus, it's easier to see. So if I get really, really acquainted with this, I might find myself using the other one too. You know, a little bit more often. But I just felt it was such a shame. I had wanted the deck for such a long time, and I finally got the 4th edition, and I found myself never using it. Let's see. I love that 3 of Wands. Trying to see if I can find one that I remember being a lot different. Because like I said, I don't actually know this deck enough. Yeah, the Hermit, when I saw the 2 Hermits in Tammy Pie's video, I was like, ooh, I like that. I really like the Hermit in the 4th edition too, but I like this. Needed to get it. Hope you can see that. Fun. All right. Yeah. That will about do it, I think, for this video. And if you're still watching, thank you for thank you for keeping up with me and all my tongue-tied nonsense as usual. But yeah, I'll see you around soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.